Of Gods and Men is a movie directed by Xavier Beauvois, and it's the story of French monks living in Algeria, living in harmony, and the plot of the story is basically that Islamic extremists invade the area and begin to kill Christians, and the monks have to make a decision as to whether they should stand their ground or they should leave.
The film of Gods and Men is based on a true story. The plot, as Arif's told you, is, well, it consists of Christian monks living in Algeria who are trying to live in harmony with their Muslim counterparts in the village which they live. They grow their own food, they live quite simply, and it follows their lives, quite simple lives, from the beginning of the play, which is quite a slow start, towards the final climax. Their monastery gets invaded by Muslim militia who are seeking medical help because one of their fighters has been injured. But their leader, Christian, refuses to help them. But it was Christmas Eve, and so it's goodwill. And the Islamic militia are actually quite compassionate. Towards the end of the film, these militia, in the film anyway, they abduct them. But there is some ambiguity surrounding that with the actual true story version.
The true story of the monks living in Algeria, there is discussion and conspiracy theories about whether the government of Algeria really had a part to play in the death of the monks. Throughout the film, the government are portrayed in a negative light, sinister, and equally unhelpful, arguably, to the militia. And there's great ambiguity to whether they are killed by the militia or not, with the monks walking off into a snowstorm, leaving a blank white canvas at the end of the film.
So the final image really is that, trying to portray that the film is more about the journey of life, rather than, I don't know, the end point, I guess. Do you agree?
I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
I thought the film was quite slow compared to a film that I would normally watch, but I think that the slowness of the film kind of represented their struggle in life. Also, other things that represented their struggle was the music, which reflected different moods in the film. In some of the more depressing scenes, the tone was lower, whereas in the happier scenes it was the opposite. Also, there were some biblical references, such as the Last Supper, where all of the men were gathered around the table, and it reflected the chapter in the Bible. I thought this was quite thought-provoking movie, and I'd give it a 7 out of 10.